Joining us on the news at 1 on NTA5 Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Ifoma Ojinta. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has rewarded frontline workers and other critical stakeholders who have demonstrated uncommon passion and exemplary conduct in the course of service to humanity during the peak of COVID-19 pandemic. To this end, the administration has pledged to institutionalize annual staff recognition award as part of efforts to boost staff morale and promote productivity in service. Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
The ceremony underscores a clear intent to continue to pilot the reform initiatives of government, such as institutionalizing the award for outstanding performance. FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliu, who commended the award winners for their enormous roles played during the lockdown, reminded staff that the ceremony was to improve staff loyalty and motivation to duty.
We give honor to whom it is due, to recognize those who have been very diligent in their service, who are actually patriotic in their works, and who also know how to do it.
FCT Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola and others said that the public service rule acknowledges civil service to greater heights.
We have continued to reform and we continue to reform at every level of operation.
As far as recognizing those who took in their time, not in their official capacity, to ensure that the sanctity of the master plan is upheld in the form of what they have been doing in the media space.
Factor for staff to ensure excellent service delivery.
We can tell you that this is the right step in the right direction, in the sense that
executing its mandate. Mr. Ratta also commended the support of the Joint Task Force in the success of the sanitation exercise as it looks forward to other areas. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
At the entrance into Kaduma 2, a community which lies within the fast-developing Guzape district and Asokoro extension.
And people will pass. You smell that road is no good.
The people from this village, Paduma village, they do bring their dirty and they dump it here, of which is not good. Even our shop here, it do smells us. You can see that it's making the environment to be dirty. Yes, I think the government is supposed to provide.
As much as they try to keep their environment clean by sweeping, the collected waste are gathered in baskets and sacks, leaving it to the mercy of truck pushers for disposal.
We will sweep our shop, even our house, then we will pack the dirty inside one sack. Then we will wait for all this Ebola to come and throw it for us. At times we can't even afford to be throwing it every day. So at times we will pack it until the sack is filled up.
With lack of proper drainage system, most worrisome is the stagnant water emanating from their makeshift bedrooms and toilets as observed. Considering the health hazard associated with unhealthy environment, the residents appeal to the authorities to assist with prompt waste evacuation and provision of drainages. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
As a result of few days' impoundment on motorcycle operators in the FCT, which resulted in confiscating several number of them, the operators are passionately appealing to the authorities concerned to also look into their plight and allow them continue with their legal business. Rosemary Motalel Bilal reports.
Few days ago, the FCT Joint Task Force team impounded motorcycles in some parts of the city center in line with the rule of the FCT. These did not go well with Okada operators in the FCT who alleged they are being denied of their legal means of livelihood.
The six Okada will not get work to do, and this Okada all they do and they help us and help our family. Everywhere where you go, if you not get this Okada, if you find work, they know if you give you work. If you thief now, they go say thief, they go cheat you. But we don't know what you go do for this life again.
Wannan sana'a ta mu wannan We do this business to get money to cater for our children and our families.
Authorities on their own part said they are leaving no stone unturned until the designated areas are rid of activities of Okada operators.
There is a rule. Even when you are a enforcement, there is a way you should appear. There's a way you should appear when you are, and it should not be converted to commercial. The way we see you operating or riding Okada without regards to those rules or the guidelines, we get you arrested just like any other Okada operators. We've been doing it.
When it kicked off, 107 motorcycles were impounded. As you know, it's one of the primary functions of the Directorate to ensure that laws as they relate to traffic are obeyed in FCT.
Authorities added that the exercise is a continuous one. Rosemary Molteleng Bilal, NTA News.
The tragedy that struck the nation last week, leading to the death of 11 military personnel, informed this spiritual warfare tagged Nigeria National Day of Mourning.
It was a moment of spiritual takeover, restoration and recovering as Christians united in one voice, crying out to God in line with scriptural verses that promised the Israelites that if they can collectively seek God and repent of their sins, He will come down and heal their land.
For the new thing God is doing, there shall be no more mourning in Nigeria, no more infant of days. The least Nigeria will live above 100 years. We will cherish one another. We will appreciate one another.
The convener of the prayer session, Apostle Chinyere Achirivu of Caring Hearts Ministries, says disaster and calamities cause a nation setback, hence the need for every Nigerian to go down on their knees to cry to God for deliverance.
God is depending on Nigeria to raise up their voices in prayer, to liberate their nation, so the nations of the world will see that God is still alive and He's still liberating His people.
Participants affirmed that there is nothing committed into the hands of God that don't have His touch.
Very spiritual program.
I handed over everything concerning Nigeria to God, and God should take over.
The black man blind in one eye said, in another 100 years, revival will break off in a nation called Nigeria, 1913. And we're so happy that we're alive and we're going to witness that. You know, it doesn't matter what is going on around Nigeria. Those are all birth pangs. They are the things that will bring forth.
NTA News.
Now, conflict is said to be part of human nature, but the ability to amicably resolve such conflicts to maintain peace depends on everyone's commitment. This was a submission of Ambassador Martin Umohoibi, a guest on NTA5 Sunday magazine, when he dwelt on the United Nations Peacekeepers Day. Tessie Omeri, who monitored the program, reports.
Ambassador Martin Umohoibi, who spoke on the significance of the observance of the United Nations Peacekeepers Day, says Nigeria as a nation has contributed immensely to global peace mission.
Nigeria is one of the key global peacekeepers. Indeed, on this continent of Africa, Nigeria is actually number one. Globally, perhaps it's number 5. All over the world that the United Nations have been involved, Nigeria has been there. And so we must celebrate our country, Nigeria, for playing such a key and dominant role in global peacekeeping.
He says the theme, Road to a Lasting Peace, leveraging the role of youth, is apt, considering the major role the youth can play if given the conducive environment.
For a country like ours, where nearly 60% or 70% of our population are youths, you have to cultivate them, you have to educate them, you have to bring them up to recognize the value of peace. Get them involved in what goes on in this country on the basis of equity and justice. And our youths are incredible, creative, resourceful people. We must mobilize them and stop stigmatizing them, because it depends on how you bring them up and how you rear them.
Remembering the roles men and women played and have continued to play all over the world in maintaining peace over the years should be sustained. Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Let's now pause to take some messages. More reports in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. Let's now turn our attention to some health issues. Do you know to bear tobacco craving for 6 to 8 weeks reduces appetite of smokers and draws them closer to quitting? However, this is in line with this year's theme, which says, commit to quit. Aisha Uba Ali in this special report highlights the dangers of smoking as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate World No Tobacco Day 2021.
Michael started smoking at the age of 7, and at 20 years he decided to quit smoking after seeing his father and elder brother die of tobacco-related disease. Michael in the last 17 years have remained an activist agitating for a free tobacco Nigeria.
See that he was regretting his actions. So as my own part of the struggle, after I eventually gave up the habit, I decided that I can actually do something to help someone out there.
Every May 31st, countries commemorate World No Tobacco Day as a way of reminding people of the dangers of smoking tobacco. Consultant pulmonologist at the National Hospital, Dr. Kingsley Osaga says, aside affecting the aesthetic looks of one, such as coloration of some parts of the body, like dented teeth, tobacco smoking can predispose one to terminal illnesses such as cancer, increased lung and chest infection, type 2 diabetes, as well as cardiac arrest, among others. With the trend of repackaging tobacco to be more attractive to what is known today as shisha, experts say there is no any safe form of tobacco.
It affects them emotionally because they are not able to talk in public, they are not able to smile in public.
Statistics show that there are 1.3 billion tobacco users globally. Observers say programs that allow smokers to quit successfully have been a major challenge.
The nicotine affects the blood vessels. So if somebody has even ulcer, for example, the rate of healing is even slower for smokers than non-smokers.
The likes of Michael advocate the need for support and partnership with non-governmental organizations in view of the 2015 law on tobacco, which he says has not really been enforced and implemented.
Some of us are coming in so that the people that are in charge, in authority, should be made to understand that their laxity is costing lives and is having a negative impact on Nigerians and humanity.
Meanwhile, Michael has called a National Assembly to reconsider the move and debate to legalize marijuana in Nigeria.
I will never support any bill that legalizes smoking of marijuana because they have the same end point.
The message resonating on this day is still, smokers are liable to die young. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, some notable health conditions drawing inspiration from obesity have been identified to be responsible for untimely deaths in Nigeria. Research shows
obesity on its own might not be a cause of a death outrightly, but if one gets morbid, you become more vulnerable to so many conditions. So there are comorbid conditions that now, could lead to that death complication.
Dr. Sadiq Abdurrahman says while a predisposing factor could be genetical, the prevalence of obesity in Nigeria can be attributed to social lifestyles.
Before now, in this part of the world, sub-Sahara, we don't see people that are morbidly obese. However, now because of change of lifestyle,
as human metabolism is said to begin to alter and decline while weight gain occurs. Rose Gia, NTA News.
And for an update on COVID-19, figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as at 30th May 2021, indicates 0 new case of COVID-19 in the FCT. Total number of confirmed cases, 19,874. Active cases, 599. Number of discharged cases, 19,109. Sadly, 166 deaths have been recorded in the FCT. And let's talk sports now. Aqua United go top of the Nigeria Professional Football League table after home victory over Kwara United, as Naomi Osaka risks expulsion from the French Open for blatant media evasion. Cynthia Ogun has more on Sports Brief.
Aqua United regained top spot in the Nigeria Professional Football League following a hard-fought 2-1 win against Kwara United in Uyo on Sunday, while in Jos Canopilas dropped to second position on the table after a goalless draw against Plateau United. In Aba, Eyimba and Heartland battled to a barren draw in a thrilling contest, and Nasarawa United secured 3 points at the expense of bottom-placed Adamawa United. Meanwhile, Nigeria Professional Football League outfit Sunshine Stars have appointed Kayode Emmanuel as their interim manager until the end of the season. In other news, 16 players and 4 coaches have resumed camping in Kaduna ahead of June's Olympic beach volleyball qualification in Morocco. Meanwhile, Egyptian Zamalek defeated Monastir 76-63 to win the inaugural Basketball Africa League BAL Championship, which took place at the Kigali Arena in Rwanda. Elsewhere, 4-time Grand Slam singles champion Naomi Osaka has been fined $15,000 for refusing to speak to the media. She now faces disqualification from the French Open if she continues a media boycott. With Sports Brief, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 1. Join us again at 7 for more news. Have a good afternoon.